Hey everybody, we are here for part 2 of the Mosaic Nordic Winter CAL. Here I have part 1. This is the whole blanket for part 1. I have done 4 repeats for this blanket, 4 repeats of a 50 stitch count repeat. So I'm ready to add part 2 on. This is the second pattern that we are doing. This is the angel pattern. This was designed by Kelly Hathaway. She has been a pattern tester of mine. She took my Mosaic Charts e-course and she wanted to give her design a try for herself. So she designed this specifically for my CAL. Isn't it beautiful? This is the angel pattern. And you can see I have already worked up my sample. And I'm about to add this onto my blanket. This is part 1. I'm going to add part 2 on top. So for the sake of this CAL, each section is just going to be worked on top of each other. And this top row, this was the last row of the section 1. So I am just going to simply work my angel chart, which you will find linked below. I'm just going to work my chart, my stitches on top, just kind of like if I was to just continuing on working section 1. There's nothing really special that I'm going to do. You will see that row 1 of this angel pattern is just empty white boxes, which is back loop only single crochet. So for row 1, what I'm going to do, besides my beginning and ending border stitches, I am just going to single crochet in the back loop only all the way across using my color A. If you want to switch the colors and make this angel, make the angel red and the background white, you can feel free to do that. But I'm going to choose to keep it as such with a white angel and a red background. So for that, my first row is going to be this white linen color, which is color A. Remember, I am using Lion Brand yarn, Wool Ease. This is a worsted weight yarn. So this is linen, and this is cranberry. So I will just show you, there's nothing really special that we're going to do when adding on the next section. What I'm going to do is work my border stitch. So I'm going to go right through the V of this stitch down here through this post, and then I'm going to go at a diagonal, make sure on the back I have the 2 legs right here. Okay, and then I'm going to work a standing single crochet. So that's my beginning border stitch. And then for row 1 all the way across, I'm just going to do single crochet in the back loop only. All the way across. Now, if you want to learn a bit more about this pattern, please check the link below for the Mosaic Nordic Winter CAL. And Kelly has worked up a stitch tutorial, a pattern tutorial herself on her own channel, and that will be linked right here. So I'll show you what this blanket looks like when I'm all finished, but I am not going to show you row by row. I just came on to show you that row 1 is just going to be worked on top of the last row of section 1. And that is how we're going to do all the rest of the sections here on out. You don't need to make a foundation single crochet row like we did in the first section. We're just simply going to work on top using the back loop only. One more thing that I wanted to point out about this angel pattern by Kelly is just the way that the repeat works. So this, if you look at your chart, this is a 25 stitch repeat. So in the chart, the chart shows 50 stitches plus 3, 1 for the border on each side. So that's 2, and then a stitch to even it out. But because of the way the pattern works, the extra stitch doesn't really even the pattern out. It just kind of adds an extra stitch over here. So if you see where you start the pattern on the right side, you have 1, 2 stitches. But here on the other side, you'll have 3. So when you work up your blanket, you will just do the 25 stitch repeat over and over again, and you'll have these 4 stitches in between your angel. But just at the end of your blanket, you'll have these 3 stitches instead of the 2. I don't think you'll really notice a difference once the blanket is all worked up, because the angel will be evenly spaced all the way through, but just at one end you'll have 2 stitches on the side, and then at the other end of your blanket you'll have the 3 stitches to end it off. But just when you work up your blanket, you will work the 50 stitch repeat, or the 25 stitch repeat over and over again. And then you'll just end up with an extra stitch on the side. It'll be okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can refer to the chart, but you'll see here on this first pattern, the sample I made up, like this cross here, you have 2 stitches, and then over here you have 2 stitches to end it off, even though the repeat is this 10 stitch repeat right here. It's this extra stitch to end it off. Just the way that this pattern works up, that extra stitch doesn't really do much. But like I said, at the end of your blanket, you won't really notice a big difference there. So don't let it bother you too much. Some of the patterns, the extra stitch makes sense, but some of them don't. And this is just one where the extra stitch doesn't make sense, but we can just put the stitch there and don't let it bother us. Okay. So can't wait to see what you come up with.